So my video essay is on she, her cat, and it's on animals as being 0 degrees of empathy positive. So empathy is an interesting concept, and animal empathy is something that is extremely difficult to work with in an objective manner. This is due largely to our interpreting it through our own motivations and logic, which leads to anthropomorphizing thought patterns and feelings of animals without proper understanding. As I've mentioned in discussion posts previously, what I found so fascinating about she and her cat was the way that Daru interpreted she's feelings. Through his own perspective, energy, and hunger, he interprets her feelings of loneliness as a child as he would another cat acting similarly, and fails to recognize the reason behind why she attempted to leave him in a box, or why she was so overwhelmed on her own. These are important to know because, as by the strictest definition of empathy, Daru is lacking in the ability to understand the feelings of she, but not the ability to share them. He could not possibly have the same mindset as a human or comprehend what it is that she is going through in her life, but he is able to share in what he is associating her feelings with. Namely, this is hunger, boredom, or even the need to play. These are characteristics shared by neurodivergent individuals that Simon Baron-Cohen has labeled as possessing a positive 0 degree of empathy. That is, they possess empathy difficulties, but the way their brain processes information can lead to them becoming what he dubs as supermoral rather than immoral, which can be seen in those suffering from psychopathy, narcissism, or sociopathy. Those are individuals that would be labeled as 0 degrees negative, as their impaired empathy allows them to harm others. The distinction with positive versus negative lies in the impairment being in cognitive empathy, which is the ability to understand why someone would be upset, or being able to correctly interpret emotional responses in themselves and others, rather than affective empathy. And affective empathy is our ability to feel, to actually react towards another person being upset. If finding out someone is upset would naturally upset us if we have affective empathy intact. And it's why those neurodivergent individuals who have difficulties understanding are oftentimes still able to feel these emotional responses. When it's pointed out or they recognize that someone is upset, naturally it also upsets them, and their concern for others is not impaired by these difficulties. This is important because it is the mirror image of those suffering from psychopathy. In psychopathy, cognitive empathy is left intact, and they are able to identify why others are feeling emotions and are able to read them quite well. 0 degree positive, which could be individuals with Asperger's syndrome, for example, or certain autism spectrum disorders. They have difficulty reading emotions, but they do care about others. Their effectiveness is still intact. Why the long discussion about theory rather than the anime? It's because I believe she and her cat offers us another look into 0 degree positive. Daru, as an animal, does not have the same cognitive empathy as a human. It's impossible for him to. We simply do not process things in the same way. And that's perfectly acceptable. It's actually perfect, because he does possess affective empathy to an extreme degree, much like some neurodivergent individuals. We witness this in his acts to try and relieve She's pain when they're growing up, and throughout their time together, like when he knocks over the cup thinking that would entertain her, and especially when he manages to phone her mom for help. These are all examples of that affective empathy, where animal empathy may not ever be something that can occur on the same level as between two neurotypical individuals, but that does not cheapen it, and we should not cheapen how neurodivergent individuals experience it either. I think Daru points to an interesting dimension of this argument. We perhaps overplay the importance of understanding exactly what one is going through, being able to have the exact same mindset, and undersell the benefit of sharing that feeling rather than the cause. Daru shows us how important that affective component is, the human aspect of connecting with another in feeling without being cluttered by our own interpretations. It points to the same question I posed when I first watched the series, which is, does the sheer foreignness of animals, of a mind so different from our own, which could also be applied to neurodivergent individuals, allow us to better reach the raw emotional output